Hello, this is a video that somebody has asked me for, and it's a video about how to cast on and cast off without any tools and without too much fine motor control. So I stole one of these methods, Roundly, from Sally Butcher, who is brilliant, and I slightly invented the other one, or I sort of slightly ripped it off from someone else. But the point is, this should suit people who potentially have a physical disability or potentially a learning disability, or in some other way have got a loss of fine motor control. And the idea is to avoid having to use any of these because these require a degree of fine motor control. So this is how I would cast on without any tools. So I'm going to thread up my carriage. If you have a look at my carriage, I've set it to do partial knitting, so both part buttons put in, and also set it up so that it will knit back from holding position under all circumstances. And to cast on, all I do is I find a needle, first needle, okay, and I bring it forwards to holding position, and bingo, first E-wrap done. Second, and so on. And once I've done a few, I can let go of the end yarn. You still need a degree of motor control, but I think you'll agree that it's not too bad. The nice thing about this is that it produces an E-wrap of completely constant tension. And having done that now, having done some E-wrap, I can now set my carriage to plane. I can hang myself a couple of weights. I don't even need a cast-on comb for brother users. And I can then go right ahead and with a few little moments, I can go ahead and knit. Now the first couple of rows, if you're not using a cast-on comb, might be a bit dodgy. Apart from that, we are away and knitting. Now then, after you've done your piece and you've done as much knitting as you want to, you're then going to come to the point where you need to cast off. And for this, we are going to use the laced carriage. And so it's important for the cast off that you have a machine with a laced carriage. So once again, I'm going to set my carriage to partial knitting fully. And this time I'm not going to bring forward the needles to holding position. I'm going to bring them forward to forward working position. So what I do is I take the lace carriage across, and then I bring forward one needle at the end. You can see I bring it forward just to for forward working position, and it transfers the stitch across. Then I push that needle back, bring forward the next position, next needle, and knit it across. And that's all I do. Again, you can see that this does not require any fine motor or much fine motor control. Whoops. That was me catching that yarn up in there, which was silly of me. I'm going to carry on anyway, actually. But all it requires is for you to be slightly on the ball, okay, in terms of how you're knitting. And again, I appreciate that I have actually got this wrong, but even so, I could totally have stopped and unpicked that. I just didn't because I'm lazy. And for me, it's actually almost as fast as doing it with hand tools. Certainly, if you're not good at hand tools, then it is a very useful method. Now I'm going to finish this off, and I shall see you in a second when I finish casting it off, and you can see A, the mistake I've made, and B, what it looks like apart from that. So I brought you back just for the last few, so I'm going to do this more or less without saying anything, so you can just see how the process works. Okay. I'm going to cheat now and hang this back on because it's actually come off. But again, even if you're lacking fine motor control but can do the odd thing, one is better than none. Okay, and then finally we can pull this loose. Okay, break off my yarn and pop it through the loop, and there you are with one cast off done. Now let me show you. Okay, here is, I always leave in the mistakes I make because it's important. Okay, but there's this mistake I made at the beginning, but you can see the cast on is a perfectly good EWRAP cast on, and the cast off is a perfect chain. None of that's coming undone, and I've successfully managed to do a cast on and cast off without using any tools apart from the one which I used because I cocked up. And I will see you another time. Thank you.